Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, hey, welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast. Absolute honor that you have joined the #1 industrial-related podcast, live edition in the universe. Now, I have nothing to back that up. I can't even go beyond the galaxy. But I'm going to be bold and I'm going to be brave and I'm going to declare that this is the #1 in the universe. However, what we're going to be talking about today, because we're going to be constantly focusing in on the feedback that I've been receiving as a result of my interviews with industry leaders, manufacturing leaders, and what they're focused in on as a provider, as a solution provider. I think you need to be aware of some of these points. Now, to reiterate, to recap, once again, it's always talking about how do I retain my talent. Good. How do I do it? You've got to retain that talent, right? You've got to manage that risk. Either build a wall around that risk or eliminate that risk. What are the strategies, solutions? What are they? We're going to want to make sure that we are saving money, that any of the money that we do spend, right? Any of the money that we do spend is meaningful, and it also brings about all of these other things, right? We're making money. We've got to make money. It's got to have some cash flow going on there, or it just doesn't mean anything. You're going to, go by the way of the dodo. And then you got to have a strategy, a focus on resiliency. We don't know when the two-finger death punch will ever hit us again, but if it does, we've got to have that built in to our business model and across the board. Now, we do that as a result of being collaborative, both internal and external. We have internal challenges, we have external challenges. And the way we deal with that is we've got to go and we've just got to collaborate, right? Let's collaborate. We've got to innovate, right? We've got to not just innovate from a technology point of view, but we've got to be innovative when we're looking at our business model all the way across, soup to nuts, beginning to end, alpha, omega, whatever you want to call it. Education, and that has been one of the biggest feedbacks that I have been receiving as a result of, a number of interviews is my talented workforce needs education, needs to understand. Let's just be real here. None of us have ever gone through this interesting time we call, COVID. So we've got to educate, and it's got to be done with a sense of speed. You can't lollygag. You can't, pre-COVID, we were just sitting there going, this is great, man. In 2 to 5 years, we're going to digitize our business, and then we're going to go to this conference, and we're going to do these things, and we're going to eat at this restaurant. What was done pre can't be post. Business as usual cannot be the model. And then lastly, you got to move forward. No matter what, move forward. If you make mistakes, well, you make mistakes. So what? You stub a toe, you get back up, shake it off, continue to move forward. Do not be frightened of making mistakes. Now, a quick little shout out before we get into the little topic, Stratum Consulting. Check this out right there. Stratum Consulting. I received this in the mail, and this is a very optimistic view of the future. They're saying, hey, when we do start traveling again, here is a great little travel kit for you to bring along. And it's got a lot of cool little things in it for making your life easier. Well, check that out. Well, look at that, man. That's a cool little thing. That's a multi-plug type of USB type of thing. And of course, if I look properly into it, because Stratum thinks of everything, because they're the leader in EAM implementations. That's who Stratum. Well, there's some hand sanitizer in there. How about that? They thought of it all. Thank you very much, Stratum Consulting. Right there, baby, right there. All right, let's get into the conversation that we're going to be doing. Now, one of the things that we have, one of the challenges that we're dealing with, and I lived through this, and it's a painful reality. It's a painful reality. Is your service or product commoditized? I asked that question because when I was running an industrial maintenance company, I was dealing with commoditization all of the time, every single day. What does that mean, Scott? Well, what happens in a commoditized business model is, one, your prospects, your customers are always looking for the cheapest product, the cheapest solution. And what that means to you is like, okay, I've got my margin that I got to protect. The bottom line is, once you enter into that commoditization, once you enter into that type of business model, you've got to be innovative. You do not want to get into that. You do not want to compete on price, because that means your margin begins to shrink dramatically. And then, of course, everybody's competing for that little scrap of market share because your product is commoditized. It's a big risk. So you're saying to yourself, Scott, what do I do? How do I not be commoditized? Okay. One, I had to, good, bad, ugly, whatever it might be, I had to be one, and it goes right in line with this one right here. You better be innovative. Now, innovative is like, okay, I don't know how, and this is what I was struggling with when I was augmenting labor. It's difficult to differentiate a backhoe from another backhoe from another backhoe. So it's difficult to innovate. If I got to dig a trench and I'm using a backhoe, well, that's it. And the customers, because there are a gazillion of backhoe users out there, or providers of those solutions, gazillion of them, they're going to look for the cheapest solution. Or they're going to look for, and this is number two, look at that. Isn't that cool? That's the whiteboard. Do they know them? Do they like them? Okay. Do they trust them? And the big one, are they friends? So what happens is that normally companies go to the people that they know, the people that they like, the companies that they trust, and that they have developed a long-term relationship with them in some way, shape, or form. They are committed to that. So when we start talking about a commoditization of your services and solutions, you've got to figure out, and you've got to be very, very focused in on, how can I be more innovative in the delivery of my solutions? And I'll give you another example. If I had a nickel every time somebody talked to me about Industry 4.0, we're a leader in Industry 4.0. We are leaders in digitization, or it could be IoT, IIoT, it doesn't really matter. It could be all of that stuff. That little lake full of these individuals, these companies, is full. And you're going to have to ask the question, am I resonating? Is my message getting out? Am I innovative enough to stand out? Or am I just like any other company that provides IoT solutions? Edge, cloud, we do this, AI, we create these parameters. It goes on and on and on. And back to know, like, and trust, and a friendship. Are you building those relationships? And when we start talking about relationships, being able to identify their problems, having a conversation, be other focus, constantly other focus, be other focus, and then take them through the journey of an actual solution that solves their problems, that eliminates the pain. That's how you create the know, like, and trust. You've got to be committed to that in a commoditized world. Hope that makes sense. Again, quick hits of solutions right here, right? Stratum Consulting, thank you very much for the incredible gift. Love it. We'll use it. Heading to Cleveland, big time. And it will be part of my travel kit. Again, ask the question, is our services, our solutions commoditized? If they are, you've got to go down the journey, down the road of innovation, because you've got to differentiate yourself from all the other noise that exists out there, everything that you can imagine. You've got to differentiate yourself. Create that know, like, trust, and friendship. And as you move forward, then you can protect the margin that you so choose. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you joining. This, once again, the live version of the Industrial Talk podcast is this, and is still, once again, dedicated to you, the industrial professionals, the companies that get it done. You are bold. You are brave. You dare greatly. You innovate. You're changing the world. That's why this is here. That's why we celebrate you. Go out to the Industrial Talk podcast location. That's industrialtalk.com. Find out more. We are featuring the best of the best that come in industry. We interview them. They share their wisdom and all of the good stuff that is, and it's all focused on your success. Thank you very much. Appreciate what you do. Man, I'm telling you, I'm proud to be a part of this family. So take care, be safe, and don't take any chances out there.